to vote. It's the parliamentary constituency under which Kanker falls. The BJP lashed out at the Congress for once again dragging our men in uniform into petty politics. Supriya Shrinate's claims were countered by the men who led this operation. CNN News 18 spoke to a local officer who received the first tip-off about these Maoists hiding in these jungles. He busted every single claim made by Ms. Srinate. Supriya Shrinate labelled the killed Maoists martyrs, to which the officer we spoke to said that's not true at all. He confirmed that all those killed in this encounter were seen in black uniforms worn by the People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. Again, a banned organization already enlisted as a terror outfit. On Srinate, Supriya Shrinate expressing condolences and her sympathy and questions over whether this was a fake encounter. The officer simply asked, how can an operation be fake when one of our Jawans bled for 1.5 hours during the gunfight? Congress asked for a probe into the operation to ascertain what exactly happened. The officer then told us that Maoists were given ample warning and even told to surrender. When shots were fired from their side, that's when our forces retaliated. GVL Narasimha Rao, former Rajya Sabha MP and national spokesperson of the BJP, stays on with us. Anand Ranganathan, author, is with us, and George Kurian, political analyst, with us. Shaheed. Namaste, Jai Hind, George Kurian ji. Shaheed. Those who are branded terrorists, Maoists are terrorists, is what the Home Minister back then, Mr. P. Chidambaram, said on the floor of Parliament, and suddenly they are Shaheed.
Well, Anand, good evening to you, to my co-panelists on the show, and to your audience. Let me reiterate for the benefit of your audience that Supriya Shrinate, no doubt she is a media head and on digital platforms. She may have said martyrs for the people, for those who were killed, the Maoists, but she didn't mean it. That's what I would want to clarify here. She didn't mean, they were martyrs in this case. We respect the valor and braveness of the border security force and the Kanker district reserve guard to show this kind of attempt and to encounter the Maoist attack and bringing them to books, and because we don't want anybody or any Naxals to take law into their hands, and to safeguard the interest of the state and the nation. This is what is needed, and we strongly believe that the Congress party doesn't need to get this into a political color or take benefits out of it, because the Congress party has an inclusive manifesto in place which caters to every section of the society. So we are not really worried about to garner these and make it a political, take advantage of it. Whereas the BJP doesn't have substance in their manifesto at all. So this is what worries the BJP at this point in time. We can see the nervousness and about on the BJP side. We are really not concerned about this. We know it's the eve of the election. First phase and second phase, the buster or be it Kanker is going into the elections, and so we are all confident about. Whereas Chhattisgarh, no doubt, we must have lost out in the assembly election, but we are confident as far as the national politics is concerned. India Alliance will be coming to power in 2024. So we are rest assured that we are going to come to power.
Very George Kurian ji, you said something. Please tell me, when did she make this statement?
This was on the 16th.
What's the date today, sir?
Well, today is 18th, but see, we understand
has she issued a clarification? Has she taken back what she said and said that her comments were misinterpreted? Has the Congress party officially said that this is not the official portion of the position of the Congress party? Has the Congress party issued a show cause notice to Ms. Srinate for the kind of words that she used and for not retracting her comment? 4 questions, 48 hours. Has it happened?
Well, I can understand, Anand, what you're trying to get this clarified, but the Congress party doesn't want to make it political. That's the reason the Congress party has not given this much importance, and they don't want to blow it out of proportion.
But Mr. Kurian, this is exactly how she started her comment, saying, I do not want to politicize, and then said, Jo shaheed hue, and hamare kuch sainik bhi ghayal hue. We should be a janj into this. So this is exactly how she said, you don't want to politicize, yet it was politicized by the very person who's in charge, who's an office bearer in the Congress party, who's a national spokesperson, who is addressing a press conference, and 48 hours later there is no show cause notice to her, no retraction of the statement by her, no official condemnation or retraction saying this is not the official portion of the position of the Congress party by any senior Congress person. In fact, sir, there is a similar comment that was made by the former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. That is also there on record. Yes, GVL Narasimha Rao.
Anand. Yeah, Anand, I think it's very typical of the Congress party, and what the statements made by Supriya Shrinate, spokesperson of the Congress party, or the former Chief Minister of Congress Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, they are typical of the Congress party's mindset. They have always appeased forces which are inimical to India's security and India's interests. They have always supported those elements who have fought against India's security forces. I think here 3 security force personnel, BSF personnel got injured. The entire this operation was called a fake encounter by the former Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, and again he is forced to retract when there is a massive public outrage. And Supriya is now known notoriously for making such outlandish statements. And this is typical of the Congress. I don't know, they are trying to appease Rahul Gandhi, or they are trying to compete with Rahul Gandhi in making such anti-India comments, so that they can possibly grow higher in the hierarchy of the Congress party. This is the lowest you can stoop to. I think the security personnel, there are dozens of them, hundreds of them, who have sacrificed their lives, who have been martyred in line of duty in a red zone like Bastar. And today you not only question their sacrifices, you are mocking at them. You are trying to put pressure on them. You are questioning their actions. I think the Congress party at the highest level, if they have any sensibility, I think this is typical of the Congress party. Therefore, I am not expecting any apology. But if they want some face saver, Congress party must act against people who have made such atrocious comments.
George Kurian wanted to respond. Dr. Ranganathan coming to you after that.
Well, I would want to counter Narasimha Rao ji here. He said the former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel, has called it a fake encounter, which is not true. He has got on record to say that he values the security forces for an attempt to encounter the Maoist attack.
And clarified later.
So that's not true. And see, the nation is aware of the Pulwama consequences and how it was. How the incident came to the fore, and the former Jammu and Kashmir governor has Satyapal Malik has elaborated in public domain. So I don't want to get into that politically. So we will leave it to the wisdom of the people to give their conscious mind and go to vote because Chhattisgarh is going to vote in the first and second phase.
The fact is, sir, if it is going to vote, and it is this Bastar region which is known as the fulcrum of all Maoist activity. Bastar is supposed to be the fulcrum of all Maoist activity because most of the funding comes via the sale of tendu leaves and the bauxite mines from there, iron ore is extracted. And that's the reason why you have Bastar, which has always been the fulcrum and perhaps the node even for this entire corridor. In there, for a success like this, should that be hailed, or is it that there were some plans that were put that were afoot and that have been derailed? This is a serious question that comes to mind when such reactions come and there is no retraction that happens. But Dr. Ranganathan, the other aspect is that those who have said that we have got huge success, they also have to account for that in 10 years. How is it that if there has been such a big, culling down of the red terrorism and that entire corridor, how is it that such arms and ammunition have come in such huge supplies right in the heart of our country?
No, absolutely, Anand. But, first of all, to call Naxal and Maoist terrorists as martyrs is astounding. But, then again, we have to accept the painful truth that a country is being run inside this country and that the Naxals and the Maoists are running it. We also have to accept that the bigger country, India, has not been able to defeat this little country. In fact, the mother country is feeding and nourishing this fetus because the umbilical cord is intact, Anand. We can win 4 wars against an external enemy, Pakistan. We can go and bomb them even in peacetime, justifiably so. But we cannot seem to defeat this internal enemy, this country within a country. Parallels with the fate of America and Vietnam could inevitably be drawn. But let's not go there. Let's focus on this little country that has killed thousands of our bravest Jawans and continues to. This little country has its own defense, its guns and munition and bombs, its own economy through extortion and growing poppy. But most crucially, this country has its own foreign service and diplomats. And they are its ultimate strength that allows these Naxals to burn schools, destroy roads and hospitals, and reject our constitution. And these diplomats, these urban Naxals, reside in our country and not in the country they support and work for. They rationalize and justify Naxal violence, but cat gets their tongue when you ask them what 7 lakh Kashmiri Pandits should have done when they were murdered, raped and ethnically cleansed from their own land. You see, Naxals can be Gandhis with guns, as their totem Arundhati once called them affectionately, but Kashmiri Pandits can't be. These are the people who dance at the murder of CRPF Jawans, turn Pol Pots into poet activists who set the rose-tinted David Goliath media narrative here and abroad. Their every lie has been exposed, Anand. Their every argument countered. But like a hamster in wheel, they keep paddling this vicious cycle. Making matinee idols out of Maoists can either be because of one's ignorance or moral relativism. Being congenitally ill-read and hypocrites. In their case, it is both. But they are winning. Why? Just 30 seconds. Facts tell you that historically, no government has done more to combat Naxalism than the Congress. They nearly wiped them out in the 70s. Reduction in Naxal incidents was 50% under UPA 2. Data doesn't lie, Anand. They arrested urban Naxals and sleeper cell wardens with impunity. Started Salva Judum, Operation Green Hunt. But the moment they go out of power, they team up with the same Naxals and urban Naxals. They start calling them revolutionaries like Raj Babbar did, martyrs. They seek their help to defeat BJP like Digvijay did. They support signature campaigns to free the very urban Naxals they had earlier jailed under UAPA. They reconnect the umbilical cord. And this is why the country within the country has not been defeated, because we are divided.
We are divided. Are there people who are also offering them help?
And the Congress party is not trying to connect the umbilical cord here, and we strongly believe that we are against any
If you are against her, then you have to take action against the lady who made that statement, or make her retract it publicly and say this is not what she meant, and it's not happened in 48 hours. That's why, sir, the intent and sincerity with which you are stating something here is not believable, because it's not been stated officially by the Congress party itself. That's the point. Yes, GVL Narasimha, final word. Ji.
No, Anand, I think the Congress has had this dubious record of indulging in politics of terror, appeasement of terror. We've seen this not just in the case of Maoists, we've seen this happen in the case of Islamic terrorists. We've seen how Lashkar-e-Taiba, how we have seen in the case of Ishrat Jahan, Lashkar-e-Taiba accepted her as their own operative. They said she is the one who was deputed for a mission in Gujarat, and the Congress party, and they put pressure on the Director Intelligence (IB) at that time. They put pressure on even the National Security Advisor of that time, if I remember, Mr. Narayanan, to claim that no, Ishrat Jahan is a very innocent girl who has been killed in a fake encounter. They have done this deliberately. They have tried to suppress all acts of terrorism in this country only for the sake of vote bank politics, and also to settle political scores with the BJP. I think you have had even leaders like Digvijay Singh, a former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and a former and a very senior leader of the Congress party, who claimed that 26/11 is not an act of ISI or any terror groups from Pakistan, but it's because of homegrown some terror. You have had Rahul Gandhi telling people, the interlocutors from the US, that saffron terror is responsible for acts of terrorism in this country. It is because of appeasement of terror by the Congress party that you have had terror incidents happen all across the country during the 10 years of the UPA tenure. There was not a single city which was left untouched. You have had Delhi blast, Mumbai blast, Hyderabad blast, Bangalore blast, Chennai blast, Jaipur blast, you name a city, there was a terror blast that happened only because of the Congress party's links.
Now I can only say that here, commending the forces that they were able to gun these people down. There were at least 50 of them, sir. 29 have gunned down. The rest have escaped. What were they planning, and something diabolical? That's another question. Yes, I have to wind up. Dr. Ranganathan, final 30 seconds.
Yeah, very quickly. I heard what GVLG said and I agree with him mostly, but I must add that the person who coined the phrase saffron terror, Mr. R.K. Singh, and the person who alleged that 2611 was an RSS Hindu conspiracy, Mr. Kripa Shankar, are currently both in the BJP.
Big questions there, walking the talk, and more importantly, if we focus on the red terror, Kanker, Bastar, this region is their god. This is their fort. And if it's being penetrated, it must be done with zest, and they should be wiped out once and for all. Let's see if that can happen. Thank you very, very